Well, we recently returned from what I would call a dream vacation for our family. We went to Walt Disney World. Now, this may be a dream vacation for you too, or maybe you have a different dream. Regardless of what your dream vacation is, there are four things you want to consider as you plan and get ready for your dream vacation. The first thing is luxury. Vacation. It's supposed to be about rest and relaxation. What is it for you that you're going to do, experience, enjoy that's out of the ordinary day to day that is going to make your experience magical? That is going to vary from person to person. How you define luxury may be different for me. So, what we did when we thought about our vacation, we determined that it would feel luxurious to stay on site. Not having a rental car, not having to deal with car seats, waiting in line to get to the park, or even for that, just driving to and from wherever we were staying to the park. That is time that we didn't want to be spending in the car. So staying on site was absolutely one of the things that we determined was luxury for us. Another thing that was a luxury for us on our vacation was the memory maker. Paying to have the photos professionally taken as we were enjoying the resort, the park, even just the rides. Just having the convenience of being able to walk away with hundreds of photos from our trip would save me a lot of time in thinking of capturing certain moments and walking away with all the photos ready to go for the scrapbooks I want to make for the kids so that they always have something to look at from that trip. So that was another thing that we decided was a luxury for us that we wanted to spend the money on. So what is a luxury for you for your dream vacation? The second thing to consider is comfort and convenience. Let's face it, we're on vacation. Let's minimize the amount of thinking and planning and logistical stuff that we have to do from day to day. You're already in an environment that you're not used to, so you're already going to be having to think a little bit more proactively about how to get from point A to point B, where are we going to eat. It's exhausting. So what can you do to preempt some of that stuff? So for us, our Disney vacation, there were a couple of things we absolutely wanted for comfort and convenience. There were 4 adults, 3 children. Yes, we made sure we outnumbered the children. But a couple of the adults, because of age or health reasons, the idea of walking, from 8 a.m. to 11 o'clock at night on park days was just not feasible. So we rented scooters. Oh my gosh, made all the difference in the world in terms of their energy level and just the overall enjoyment of the day. We also rented strollers for the kids. Every single one of my children used the stroller at one time or another. And it was also great to have the basket on the scooter, the basket on the stroller. We had our stroller hook with us. It saved us from having to carry all of the leftover food from when we were eating and the water bottles and anything that we bought. It wasn't on my back, it was in a cart, and that was just convenient in and of itself. Lightning passes. Waiting in long lines for the popular rides is just one quick way to zap any magical anything that's happening on vacation. I don't care where you are, Disney or not. So it was important for us to invest in those lightning passes because we knew we wanted to ride certain rides and we were just not willing to stand in a line for 45 minutes, an hour or more. So that absolutely was convenient. Getting the passes was a little bit of a challenge. It has changed so much since I went to Disney when I was a teenager. It'll probably change again, but I know just the process of being able to buy them in advance through the app was great, but the 5-minute timer and you had to figure out your rides and the times and you had 5 minutes to make all of that decision making was more than I anticipated, but powered through it, got it done, and it was worth it. It was absolutely worth paying for the lightning passes for us. The other thing too was we scheduled our sit-down dinners. I wanted a sit-down dinner every night. I didn't want to have to just stand in line, wait for food, and then find a place to sit. I truly wanted dinner to be a quiet time for us to just slow down, reflect on the day, and just enjoy our food. The food is amazing. I mean, everywhere you go, it's just so delicious and yummy. So scheduling our dinners in advance really made the day go a little bit more smoothly because we could be present in what was happening rather than thinking, oh my gosh, what time is it? It's 4 o'clock. We need to figure out what we're going to eat. We need to put in our names to see if we can get a table. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So what is convenient and comfort that you need for, or you want for your vacation, your dream vacation? The third is experience. You're going somewhere new. You're going there for a reason. What is it that you want to experience? What do you want to walk away with saying, I did that, or I went there? What is it for you? For us, I mean, Disney World in and of itself is an experience, but there were things, like if you really start to research where you're going, you might get really overwhelmed with the options. I know I was very overwhelmed with everything you can do at Disney World, and then having to pick and choose. I mean, you can't do it all. You just can't. So we had to be really selective on what was important to us and what we wanted for our family and for the memories we were creating. So for us, I really wanted my kids to just really be immersed in that Disney experience. And having Mickey ears is important. You go anywhere in the park and they are for sale. And they have I don't think I ever saw the same two in different stores. It was unique and everywhere we went, and they're beautiful. But let's face it, when are they going to wear them again? It's not like Mickey ears are something that you wear as a headband in your day-to-day life. And man, they charge a pretty penny for them. $45. Yes, per set. And that was not money I was willing to spend on something that they would only wear for a week. So I planned in advance, went on Amazon. Guys, I got the Mickey ears. $10 a piece. This is what my girls wore. Saved us a lot of money, but they could still enjoy the experience. They didn't care how much I spent on it. They didn't care where it came from. The point is they had Mickey ears, and they were walking around Disney World with their Mickey ears. So that was something that was important for them to have, but I didn't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. The autograph books. We knew that if we had the autograph books in advance, we could save money, again, not paying Disney prices, but that also was motivation for us to make sure that as we were going about our vacation, we were being intentional, making time to meet the characters so they could get the signatures in the book. And one of the ways that we achieved that was through character dining experiences. Now, those are not inexpensive, but to say that we got to eat at the Beast's Castle for dinner and have filet mignon, and the characters come to you and sign the book so you don't have to chase them down, makes all the difference in the world. So we did 4 character dining experiences, and I don't regret any single one of them. The food was delicious. They packed up our leftovers. The desserts were so cool for the kids, different everywhere we went. That was something that was an experience that we wanted. We wanted to maximize our time being around the characters. We also looked at things that we could do that were unique. There's lots of different things you can do, whether it's a cruise with excursions, whether you're visiting a new city, different tours, behind the scene tours that don't get promoted a lot. There are things that if you look for them, you will find them. And for us, we wanted to go see the new Moana movie. Moana 2 came out just before we got there. And I wanted to see if it was possible to watch it at Disney World. I mean, you would think it would be available. Well, it's available, but not for free. And it wasn't available in any of the parks. So making a day trip to Disney Springs, getting the tickets in advance so that we knew we had them, that was something to look forward to. My oldest daughter actually celebrated her birthday over there. So making sure that she had a birthday cake and she could truly celebrate her birthday, that was something else that we wanted to experience. So that was so cool to have a Mickey cake brought to the table to celebrate. So experiences. You're going on vacation. You should enjoy something new and different. What is that for you? Fourth, yes, let's talk about the money. A lot of times you can find discounts and you can really figure out ways to cut costs with travel and where you're staying for lodging. You can really do a lot of work, but it is work. For us, we knew that, Disney World, you're going to pay a pretty penny to be there. And we were okay with that. This isn't a place that we plan on going to again anytime soon. So we were willing to save up the money and really enjoy the trip the way that we wanted to. And that meant we needed to understand what it costs. times have changed. It has literally been more than 20 years since I've been to Disney World. It has changed so much. I even looked at maps from when I was there to when they are now. It's amazing how much the rides have changed, some of the parks have expanded. It's a lot to take in and to think about. And part of the thing that we needed to understand, because we were staying on site, because we had rentals, we knew we were going to do the memory maker, we needed to get some really good ballpark figures. And we did work with a travel agent to help us do that. So that way we knew 2 years in advance actually when we were going to go, and we were able to start planning. I think it took us about 18 months total to save up the money for this trip. That includes all of the airfare and the transportation from the airport to the resort and everything included in our package, plus the cash that we wanted to have on hand to pay for the food and souvenirs and things like that. So when you add up the costs of everything you want in terms of luxury, comfort and convenience, experience, where you're staying, where you're going, all of that. When you add up all of those costs, you'll have a better understanding of what your dream vacation is going to cost you. Then you can back up from there and say, well, if we want to go at this date, this is how much we would have to save each month. It may not be feasible to do it this year. Maybe the trip that you have is super grand and you need a little bit more than a year like we did to save up for it. That's okay. Save up for it. It's worth paying for it in cash. Who wants to go on vacation, come back, and be hit with a really big credit card bill? That's not relaxing. That is the number one way to zap any rest and relaxation that you had on that trip. One thing I do highly recommend is looking at travel insurance. When you're paying so much money for a trip, if somebody gets sick, if your plane gets canceled, your luggage gets lost, they can help reimburse some of the cost. Every travel insurance policy is a little bit different, so you should shop around, but they're really inexpensive. And just to have that peace of mind that if you can't make it on your trip, you can get your money back and reschedule for another time is a huge peace of mind that I couldn't imagine not having. So that was absolutely something that we made sure that we had for this trip. And then thinking about all of the creative ways that you can save money. Once you know your number, think of all the creative ways you can save on cost. So for us, we knew we were going to Florida. The weather can be kind of unpredictable. It can just rain randomly. You just have no warning. Knowing that, I didn't want to be scrambling for ponchos as soon as it rains. So we bought ponchos in advance. We took cooling towels, even though it ended up being really cold the week we were there. That's okay, but we had them just in case it was super hot. We took our own reusable water bottles. We knew that staying hydrated was going to be really important with the amount of walking we did. I logged more than 50 miles in the 4 days that we were at the park. So taking reusable water bottles, that was something that, we could save money on buying drinks and stuff while we were there. So get creative. There are things you can do. Look at blogs of travel blogs of people who have been there, who know the place of where you're going really well. They have tips. They have ideas on what you can do to reduce some of your costs and also just save you time when you get there. Because let's face it, when you get there, the last thing you want to do is be rushing around and buying stuff. I actually had intentions of when we landed to go to Walmart and just grab food for breakfast so that we could eat in. And that didn't end up happening. It was absolute chaos trying to get out of the airport. It was a blunder, let's just say. You don't know when you're traveling. Like, you just can't predict some of these things. So that Walmart trip never happened. But that's okay. Thankfully, there was a general store where we were staying at the resort, so we were able to grab the milk, the eggs, the bread, things like that, so that we could have breakfast in. So we were able to save costs that way. We had a kitchen, so it wasn't this huge inconvenience to try and cook when we didn't really have the means to. We had the means to. But that was just one way of just waking up on our own terms, on our own schedule, and just keeping things a little bit simple in the morning for us. So to recap, your dream vacation, when you think about where it is what you want to go to, think about what is important to you in terms of luxury. What are the things that you want to have, because let's face it, it's a rest and relaxation time. It should be a little bit luxurious. It's okay. Comfort and convenience. What are those things to you that would really make this a little bit better than just any old vacation you've ever had? Third, experiences. What is it you want to do? What is it you want to look back on and say, I did that, I enjoyed that, I was there? And then fourth, yes, don't forget the money. Think about the overall cost of everything it is that you are looking at. Get a ballpark figure. In fact, I recommend adding 10% to that figure just because it's good to have a buffer, because it's an estimate and prices change all the time. And then from there, you can backtrack and figure out how much you need to save each month to get to that target. So dream about your vacation and consider these things and make it happen.